next door hub, I think by that name, a lot of things could be understood. And we have kept that name after a lot of research, what we're really trying to do. Before I go to what we are trying to do or achieve in next job, just a brief about our company, parent company. So we are a big time into the fintech. We are a fintech company and big time into the financial inclusion. Almost for 7-8 years, we have been into this domain of financial inclusion and working in a very, very deep areas in the country, the remotest place you can say. And we have more than 10 million, around 1 crore of customers. And every year we are more than almost 5 to 6,000 crore of cash transaction that we have been doing and have more than 5,000 physical touch point across India. So having into that domain for so many years, and we thought what next we can do with the infrastructure, with the expertise that we have created over those years. And after a lot of market research, we found the e-commerce is an area where our expertise could, into the banking and financial services, our expertise could be utilized in the e-commerce domain. And then we tried to do a research, what is the status of e-commerce? If you see how big is the e-commerce market, every segment in an e-commerce is doing exceptionally well in this country. Where, if you see the mobile phone are sold in e-commerce, 40% of the business comes from the electronics and the mobile phone. The fashion of the apparel industry is increasing very fast, and it is expected that it will be 80% of the total share of the e-commerce business in coming years. In the household appliances, there is a sudden growth in the household appliances and even on the large appliances as well. And I think most of us know, like in next 5 years, the growth of e-commerce is going to be more than 1,200%. So with a tentative 50 billion market industry of today, it is expected that it is going to be $200 billion industry. On the contrary, the rural population, we have more than 900 million of rural population. And that constitutes only less than 10% of the e-commerce business of the India. So I think there has been a lot of disconnect, and we try to decode whether, can you do something different than others? And while going to the business, though I myself is a tech guy with a little bit of marketing sense, but when we worked in the rural areas to find out, and even into the urban, semi-urban areas, this is the way I see a consumer behavior for buying moment. So trust, experience, the delivery, and service. I think in the first presentation, one of the market guru have said almost the same thing. And what we have found, this is not a statistical data of some big research, but it is our data with a limited set of people, but in a very, very different segment altogether. What we found is more than 90% people don't buy online because of some trust factor or for the rumors. Some around 85% people find it difficult to operate, difficult to order, and they don't know, they're hesitant. If they order something else comes, then what they have to do, they don't know. But they're interested to do business online. Today, only 15,000 PIN code, I may be wrong, but it will not be from 50,000. 15,000 PIN codes in India are actually serviceable by all the logistic companies put together other than India Post, who are actually doing the biggest business for all the e-commerce players. So which constitute only 20% or 30% of the geographical area. And more than 80% people buy appliances or large, small, or maybe for other areas as well, from where they are confident that they are going to get the after-sale services. And if we put all together with a demography like India, it is very, very tough for a tech company to satisfy all those parameters to make a buying call for a consumer. Leave it is an urban consumer. Even today, there are only 3% of the people who buy online. So live around the rural population. So if I, go a little bit deeper, so what are the biggest challenges that India have today? Right? One of the job creation, right? Somewhere around 200 million jobs need to be created by 2025 of age group of 20 to 40. In India, there are 90% plus unorganized sector, right? The unorganized sector is the biggest problem. You can say that it could be a problem or it could be a solution to the country. But today we feel it is the biggest problem for the country. So 90% of the retail in India are unorganized sector. And if we have to really think that we can be a $5 trillion economy in next 5 years, I think this is the area where everyone has to focus. And without channelizing the unorganized sector, it is practically impossible, I personally feel, and I think everyone will be, with me, that India can't achieve a $5 trillion economy. And the last is the aspiring youth masses. And it is 50% of the populations are young in India, or going to be young in India in next 5 years. They have aspiration, and what we are really going to do to keep their aspiration. So then we sum up, like, what is going to be our vision 2025? In next 5 years, what is the vision as a consumer company? So, and what are the consumers are going to see? Everyone knows there is a rising income. The middle class are getting to upper middle class, upper to the higher class, and the lower middle class to a middle class segment. And the whole consumption has changed. The way the people who used to go to footpath to buy, they're going to big bazaar. The people who used to go to a big bazaar type of store, they have gone to a next level. So the consumption behavior have changed today. And in India, the consumption growth is from the rural and urban. And today we are talking of rural and urban. Maybe in next 5 years, we will never talk of this rural and urban divide, because they are going to get merged. Because we have worked on some of the parameters, and we found in rural, deep rural, the parameter of buying is almost same. The ticket size and everything is almost same. You cannot believe. The ticket size of a semi-urban town, if a consumer comes to buy something, and a consumer of a deep rural are almost same. In all parameters, they are same. And in India, millennial and the generation Z will be the biggest consumption in next 5 years. The fourth is Indian always look for value for money products. Unlike the other countries who don't want to spend time on looking the products, they go directly, they search the product, they buy it. But in India, they browse all products, then they try to find which is the product that will have a value for money, and then we buy. And I think that behavior will continue for the next 5 years. And we'll have 1 billion internet users in next 5 years. So those are the parameters based on which we thought of, let us do something. So then one was trying to build a platform similar to the others who are into the e-commerce, because there will be 1 billion users. In next 5 years, let us start an e-commerce marketplace and start a business. We thought of doing it a little bit differently, because our expertise was more into the rural economy, working with the rural people, who are neglected, things like they are not profitable venture. But we believe like the rural had always been a profitable venture for us. And if you see, 70% people lives in the rural, and rest 30% in the tier 2, tier 3 cities and the metros. In India, there is only 3% people who buy online, And we found like if we are able to give an assistance to the people, the number could be increased not to 5. It is expected that in next 5 years, the number is from 3%, it will be 5%. But we believe it could be much, much higher if we are able to give a good assistance to the people and help them in taking that buying call. And that's what we're calling is an assisted e-commerce model. And we named it as a next door hub, which is available everywhere where you can go and get everything, which is available at your doorstep. So let us try, there is a small video maybe after that, so, I will discuss some of our experience. So can someone play the video, please? It's a 5-minute video, which will tell how we are trying to solve that.
Commerce developed rapidly in India and is the fastest growing online retail market among top global economies. The country's online retail market witnessed a compound annual growth of 53% for the period 2013 to 2017. Despite this rapid growth, online retail penetration in India is abysmally low at just 5% compared with market leaders such as China at 20%. With a whopping 59% mobile internet penetration in urban India, rural India penetration is as low as 18%, secluding away from the e-commerce revolution. Senrisa, a leading fintech company with customer base of more than 1 crore, are largely into financial inclusion and social innovation projects. Senrisa started pilot run of its most innovative assisted e-commerce project. Next Door Hub proffers an online market access to the rural populace, enabling them to enjoy the convenience, variety at attractive prices as available in big cities. This model also creates a layer of enablers, young and talented people, including women, who are running these e-shops and play a sheet anchor role in bringing the e-commerce revolution to the doorsteps of the increasing aspiring rural mass. Pandya Odhikari of Kalibhan village in West Midnapur, around 150 kilometers from Kolkata, is a bank mitra, providing banking services to some 1,500 odd customers in her locality for last 6 years. She is now successfully running the Next Door Hub e-shop. People in her village had a very limited choice in the local market and had to travel to the city for options. All leading e-commerce players operating in India are either not servicing this village pin code or not offering the ubiquitous cash-on-delivery service that is wont to catch the fancy of the customers there, who would ideally want to have a first-hand look at the product before they actually pay the price. It is here that the novelty of assisted e-commerce has brought to the fore by Next Door Hub kicked in and offered a solution. The owner of Next Door Hub e-shop is helping customers in ordering from the kiosk and delivers the product to her customers. Customer makes the payment after receiving the products digitally or by cash. The same e-shop also takes care of after-sales support for the customer. After Next Door Hub came into the life of this village, now people of all age are taking advantage of e-commerce, which was a distinct dream to them some time back. And the assistance is creating that edge and comfort in the minds of the customers.
I am an aged person. I saw this shop and ordered a sari. I got it in 3 days and I am very happy.
I got a mixer grinder from here and it was not working properly, so I brought it to the shop and some service person, he repaired it. I am very happy.
I was going to the bank. I saw this shop and ordered an item and I got delivered within 2 days. And the price are much cheaper than the market and I am very happy.
5,000 similar next door hub e-shops are already running across many states of India. By the end of financial year 2019, Senrisa targets to set up additional 50,000 e-shops. And with next door hub, Senrisa starting a new revolution, taking e-commerce to the rural economy of India. Nextdoor Hub is also connecting SME to market and providing the small players the same opportunities that large companies enjoy, and opening new doors for men, women and for youth. Nextdoor Hub is truly helping India transit from physical to digital across all landscapes and write a new vision for India.
Thank you. So this video of 5 minutes tell us what we are trying to do. I will give some of the statistics that after this initiative, when we go for a digital marketing, I think most of you have done, and you are trying to sell something online, right? We know like the cost is something around 10% or minimum 100 rupees the cost. I think everyone will, have made the similar costing for selling a product. So, and for the visibility, or the acquisition of the customer, the cost could be something around, if you have done the best marketing, would be some 10 rupee. And people without any marketing knowledge, we have, when we tried in the digital, it was much, much higher. So here, if you see a store, we have spent somewhere around 20,000 rupees on the interiors and all those stuffs per store. And there were some around 2,000 plus people, unique people who have came from these nearby villages, because we normally, deploy one around 2-3 villages. Some around 1,500 to 2,000 people, unique people have visited and ordered. So our, the acquisition cost of consumer was something around less than a 5 rupee. And the other people have also seen it. If you go, and for the selling, if we see from the branding perspective, it was even less than 10 rupees. So was our costing in terms of, since it's an, a lot of marketing people are there, so it is, the costing that we had when we gone for the, rural. And the ticket size, if you talk about, the ticket size has always been more than 500 rupees in our case. So where even today, if you go for a, the regular e-commerce where everything is there, the ticket size is much, much less. And if you say what is the biggest achievement which I find through this initiative, which is, I think, is very, very rare, even if you to find in a city or a metro city, a people of age more than 75 years old lady came to the shop when she heard like people are selling something at a low cost. She came to the shop and ordered a sari. So that is what the rural, India is all about. And I live to everyone to explore that. I think this is a big market for everyone. Everyone can have their own pie of the market.